Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad with CD Shave, and thank you very much for joining me for today's head shave. And it's really hard to see. I'm not as young as I used to be, so it doesn't show up as prevalent, but believe me, it's there. If I wear like a heavy sweater and take it off, all the lint will be right in there. So believe me, I need a head shave. I need it quite badly. So before we get into that, let's get into the holiday of the day. National Dip and Chip Day. Love nachos. I love like queso dip and stuff like that. Well-made queso dip is just absolutely delicious. Doesn't always agree with me. I suggest you get your favorite chip and dip, whether it's sour cream and onion or buffalo dip. Love that stuff too. Have it, honor it, enjoy your National Chip and Dip Day. All right, moving on to the head shave because that's what we're here for, folks. Cape Cod Cranberry. That's what we're going to be using today. Right here. This is a soap I got a little while ago. I've been using it. And a little mashed potato look, as it typically is in shaving soap. Anyway, we got the plastic container with the screw top lid and waterproof label. So I have this Cape Cod scent. I don't have, or the Cape Cod Cranberry scent, I don't have the matching aftershave. So the notes in this are cranberry, oak, and sea mosses, vetiver, cedar, and salt. So with that, I decided to kind of match it. I went with High Seas by Black Ship Grooming. This is more of it's an oceanic scent, obviously, but I thought it kind of went with it a little bit. It maybe would offer a nice pairing to cranberry and maybe give it, maybe accent the sea notes a little bit in it. So that's where I decided to go with that. But that's my choice. If you decide to go with something else, it's perfectly up to you. The razor right there, we are looking at the Beast Head by Catie. It is the slant bar. As you can see, this sucker is really aggressive. As you can tell, it's already been loaded with a blade. And the blade gap on that is pretty gnarly. Now, what blade am I using on that? Well, I decided to go with feather, of course, because, you know, why not? Captain's Choice Copper Bowl. Got our soap already mashed into there, ready to go with QED Select Manchurian Knot Badger. Talk a little bit about Catie's Bubble. Vegan base. And it is like a cream soap. It's very, very soft. It doesn't take much to put in there. When it comes to this type of soap, I usually don't soak it at all. I find it doesn't really do it any justice. It doesn't help it. It can hurt it if you soak it for too long, I've noticed, but it just dilutes it and it makes it harder to make a lather for me. Aftershave that is matched with it is alcohol-based, but I don't have that. To making a lather, shall we? Now, this is a Badger hair brush, so I don't really add too much water off the top. Some people will dip their brushes in the water before throwing it in, and I do that as well a lot, but I've noticed with Badgers I don't necessarily have to do that because they tend to hold a lot of water. Synthetics, if I squeeze the brush ahead of time and then put it in there and go at it, I usually have to add water. So I find I dip the brush first or not squeeze it as much. As you can see, we're coming along with the lather quite nicely. Now, Catie's Bubbles has been around for quite some time. They are kind of, in my opinion, one of the OGs to wet shaving. Catie's Bubbles was one of those people that kind of pioneered that. They're the foundation of what you see nowadays, in my opinion. They're one of the foundations. There are a lot of people out there that came out around the same time. You got Phoenix Artisan. They kind of, I don't want to say at the exact same time, but they're from the same era. They all kind of came around. Through the Fire Fine Craft was another one. The now defunct Mickey Lee Soapworks, another pioneering group. So you see a lot of these shaving groups that are out there nowadays that are around because of these guys. And Catie's Bubbles was one of the major players in that. Has always had a great base. Reformulated only a handful of times that I can recall. Unless, or at least publicly anyway. Chris is a great guy. Really easy to talk to if you have any questions about wet shaving in general. He's definitely a go-to, in my opinion. And if he doesn't, he's not afraid to tell you he doesn't know. But he is good about pointing you in the right direction. Ask him. He's got some great advice for you. Let's do that first pass. Excellent first pass. Tons of residual slickness on this soap. He always has had a ton of residual slickness. That's why one of the reasons I really like his soaps in general. They're a great go-to. They never let you down. So, just concerned. I'd give this probably a mid-strong. It's definitely there. The thing I like about it is it's not straight up cranberry. Not that I don't like cranberry. I do like a straight up cranberry soap, but I actually already have one of those. I like this one because it's got, well, I'll quote his website, he's attempted to recreate the scent of standing next to a cranberry bog at harvest time. Now, the cranberry bog, and I'm sure it comes to no surprise, is that it's not like you just stand next to a whole bunch of cranberries and all you smell is cranberry juice. It doesn't work that way. It's a bog, so they're in their raw form. So you get the C notes, you get woody scent to it. It's just being outside. And I think he's definitely created that. He definitely landed it with that. In my opinion, it works quite well. So, all right, let's get into that second pass. Excellent second pass. The hair is, I'd say, good 80-90% gone in that direction. I like to go different directions when I do my passes. As far as grain pass, I like to go in 2 different directions usually. Sometimes I can get it all down in one, but not today. That cross grain pass, we'll do it against the grain, and then we'll hit that post shave. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. As you can see, it is smooth, not DOP status. Wah, wah, wah. No, not DOP status at all. In fact, I told you guys this thing's a beast, and it is. I was going a little bit too fast towards the end, because I was pretty excited about how the shave was going, and I got myself right back here. And it was bleeding pretty good, so I had to hit it with a Allen block, take care of that, and call it done. Let's do the post shave here. Here's some witch hazel up on top of the head here. Hopefully that doesn't start it bleeding again. If it does, oh well. But you know what? I'm kind of glad that happened, because it just goes to show you, I've been wet shaving for years. And even somebody like me who I straight razor shave, I've shaved with tons of different types of razors. I use all different types of creams and all different types of brushes. I make mistakes. You know, you're going to cut yourself at some point. You're using a blade, you're on your skin. At some point, even if you're experienced, you're going to cut yourself, nick yourself, whatever. It's just the way it goes, and it's part of shaving in general. So let's hit this with the aftershave. It's got a little bit of menthol in it, which will feel nice on that cut. Actually, I don't feel that cut at all. It's right in here. So, all right. Well, that's cool. I must have did it up right nicely then. A little bit of shaving cream left there. All right. So, yeah. So that was that. The other little bit thin. And that's because I put a little bit too much water into it. That is not the soap's fault. That is my fault. Again, you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes when you make these lathers, I mean, you're creating these things. You're making them every day. And you make something long enough, I don't care how good you are at it, at some point you're going to go too fast, you're just going to have a brain fart, you're going to miss a moment or miss something, and you're going to screw it up. It's the way it is. And sometimes I screw up my own lathers. make it and I look at it, I say, wow, that was a little bit too thin, or that's not enough water. Adding the water to it's not too bad, but when you add too much and it gets too thin, you try to draw it back from that. It can be time consuming, and finally you're just like, ah, the heck with it, I'll go with it even though it's a little thin. So the fact that I was rushing, I made the lather a little bit too thin, resulted in me cutting myself. It happens. So that is Cape Cod Cranberry. Really nice scented soap, not straight up cranberry. It's got cranberry right in the beginning, but then it pops, and then that cranberry just kind of fades off, and you get a little bit of it's an outside smell. It's not a woodsy smell. It's not a wet, damp earth smell. It's like being outside. You go outside, you can kind of smell a little bit of a pollen, kind of, maybe, I guess. It's a little bit of that, just a very, very hint of that. It's just kind of like being outside. And then right at the end, I get a little bit of the C note right at the end of this. It's a good scent, nice scent. I would definitely give it a shot. I think the name kind of, to somebody that looks at it and doesn't want a straight up cranberry scent, they might see the name and kind of go, nah, I think I'm all set. But read the notes. It is a little bit different, and I would give this a shot if you're looking for something different than just straight cranberry. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad with CD Shaving. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And stay tuned for more videos because we do have another giveaway coming up very shortly. And we'll see you guys and girls in the next video.
Yeah.